Since it was given the green light last month, the high-speed rail link between London and Birmingham that terminates here at Euston has dramatically polarised public opinion. And some of the fiercest opposition is coming from those London residents whose lives will be most affected by the line's construction. So just how much does the capital stand to gain from this colossal project? And will the benefits outweigh the years of disruption? We sent music mogul Pete Waterman, himself a railway enthusiast of course, to find out.
Travelling north to find you. Train was beating the wind in my eyes. Don't even know what else.
People ask me why I'm so passionate about railways. Well, in the late 1960s, when BR put the electric service from Euston to Birmingham, it meant that Coventry was only 55 minutes from London. It meant that a kid from Coventry could work in the music industry. Railway innovation has always gone hand in hand with economic growth. For the first half of the 20th century, the Great Central ran from Malmö to Nottingham. It was built to a European standard. Unfortunately, 1960s, Richard Beecham didn't think so and closed it. The motor car and the new motorways like the Preston Bypass and the M1 dealt a hammer blow to Britain's railways in the early 60s. And although the Intercity 125 and Eurostar moved things on, the next thing on the timetable is really exciting. Eurostar and High Speed 1 already run from here. This is St Pancras International, but we're about to change the face of Britain because now we're joining the high-speed revolution. And Britain will never be the same again. The latest technology used in giving these trains speeds of 275 miles an hour will mean that in 14 years we will be able to get between London and Birmingham in 45 minutes. Then in 2032, Manchester will be reached in just over an hour, half the time it takes now. For some, this will make a drastic difference to their lives.
We could finish meeting at the end of the day and then be back home for 7 o'clock rather than 9 o'clock.
It's going to help businesses and attract more companies to base themselves up north.
Trains from the North and the Midlands are set to come through what will be the main hub of HS2, Old Oak Common in West London. Then divide, some terminating at Euston and the rest travelling on to Europe. Euston Station will be turned into a mega terminus for high-speed trains. It will see its footprint extended and the whole area redeveloped.
Well, Euston is probably the least attractive station in this country. It was a 1960s piece of terrible concrete vandalism. Today's Euston actually blocks the whole area. There's big brick walls. You can't walk through Euston. The new station is very much larger. It is a bit wider. It is the place where we have to take some property and then much of it we'll replace as we rebuild.
No HS2 at Euston Station, Old Oak Common.
It's the potential effect on the neighbourhood next to Euston that is causing a storm to brew up on the Regent's Park estate.
I don't want to move and I don't intend to move. They'll take me out in a coffin if they have to.
A lot of people have lived here a long time. Some people in my block have been here since they were built. They reckon that if they have to move, they'll be dead in 2 or 3 months because they wouldn't stand the trauma. I mean, they're late 80s, 90s, you know. Maria and Cecilia are sisters who have adjacent flats. 6 weeks ago, they received a letter saying that they are due to be compulsory purchased. But at the moment, they have no idea how long this process will take.
The Secretary of Transport sent us a letter saying what they intend to do with our flats. It's very easy for them to say, we're going to take this place from you, but what are they going to do with us? Where are they going to put us? What is the support they're going to provide to us?
The sisters are afraid that they may be separated.
We are looking after each other. My sister's health is not good. Look after her sometimes when she feels sick, and she look after me when I'm sick.
Some of the flats are privately owned, and some are owned by the council. Families on the estate fear they'll have to move out of Camden, but they don't know where or when.
I feel very sad and sorry because maybe it's another way. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so upset.
Camden Council have been struggling to keep residents up to date with the latest developments and have announced their intention to fight the decision to expand Euston in the courts. They fear that the planning authority will be taken away from the borough and placed in the hands of the railway.
We oppose HS2 as it stands completely. We feel quite let down by the government and the level of engagement they've had with us. They've done things like protect Kenilworth Golf Club and yet made no guarantees to the residents in 500 homes that are going to be demolished as a result of this scheme.
Gradually, the residents are building up a campaign to try and stop Euston being the terminus for HS2. They have cross-party sympathy for their plight.
My view is we shouldn't accept that it's going to happen.
Frank Dobson, the local MP, told me of his concerns for residents on the estate, that they fear that their friends and families will be split up during the 10 years of the building.
So really the real losers are the people in this 2 blocks.
Certainly more than anybody in the Chilterns or anywhere like that.
You know, these lose their homes.
Yeah, you know, they talk about not in my backyard. Well, for people here, it's not through my front room. The government hasn't given a single guarantee about whether they'll be rehoused, where they'll be rehoused, and people are absolutely pig sick of it.
A few miles from Euston is the main crossover point for HS2 and Crossrail, on the border of Acton and Willesden, right by Wormwood Scrubs. This is Old Oak Common, where 55 years ago I came train spotting with my platform ticket, and as far as the eye could see was steam trains. Now this is to be the hub. This is where HS2 meets Crossrail, meets the Underground, the Central Line, Bakerloo Line, and the whole area will be transformed with 12,000 new houses and totally regenerated. The new site is being designed by Sir Terry Farrell, and in contrast from the opposition to HS2 in Camden, here in Hammersmith and Fulham, the council are right behind it.
Half the people of working age population within half a mile of this spot are out of jobs at the moment. And a new station here will bring something like 20,000 new jobs, tens of thousands of new homes, massive benefits for this part of London.
Old Oak Common is where many feel HS2 should terminate, rather than going into Euston. I met with the railway activists called the Pan-Camden HS2 Alliance, who feel strongly that Euston is just a dead end.
This is a fantastic development opportunity. It's open, it's regeneration. Taking the heart out of Euston and turning it into a nightmare for 10 years, that's not sustainable.
I think we can achieve a new Euston in the fullness of time. As part of this project, we can also have the railways running in perfectly well, HS2 trains running into Euston, but it doesn't need to be expanded 50%.
HS2 needs the space and the project has been signed off. But with a legal challenge brewing from Camden, the designers may have to think again. As the plans stand, Euston Station will inevitably grow by 50%.
They have to make a decision how they satisfy these residents, because at the end of the day, we've got to satisfy everybody, not just us northerners who want to come into London, but the Londoners themselves who feel it's a worthwhile experience.